I'm Yashima White, Azilove, and this is Women Who Empower. This week, ladies, let's talk about relationships. Did you ever wonder if the woman who's in the big corner office that has chief in front of her title had to give up her aspirations of being a loving wife and a mother for her career? Why is it that we believe that you cannot have an empowered career and a loving, successful relationship? Well, I believe we can have both. You just have to apply yourself for both. And you have to make available time and space to give love and to receive love. Well, this week with us is Patricia Omoqui, the Thought Doctor, with her thoughts on relationships. So in your book, newly released, so congratulations, Clarifying Your Purpose and Living It, foundationally it's about defining, in order to be or to exist healthfully, it's about clarifying your true God-given purpose. And would you agree then, for that executive woman, that a part of finding that healthy relationship and that long-lasting love relationship first starts with her identifying clearly that she was purposed to be someone's mate?
Mm-hmm. And that is a priority. So defining what our priorities are, the legacy that we want to leave. Think about it this way. At the end of a person's life, usually people don't say, I wish I had worked more. I wish I had made more money. I wish I had gotten another award. What they say is, I wish I would have spent time developing my loving relationships. So if you're a woman who wants that connection, it's important to clarify that you do want it, and then what do you want it to look like? And it can look like the way you want it to look like. You can create it in a specific way, in a context that works for you, and then find a man that fits into that picture and has the same vision that you have.
Yes.
That's the challenge.
Now, isn't it interesting? You graduated from Princeton.
Yes, I did.
I graduated from Wharton, right? University of Pennsylvania. And many of my peers, and I'm sure you can attest to this in your firm, very well-educated women. And we still believe that we need to have our parents' relationship. Why is that?
Well, we don't necessarily examine all the patterns from our past and learn from them. So if we haven't consciously become aware of those patterns that our parents lived out, we unconsciously adopt and act them out. So, being good at school doesn't mean you're good at relationships, does it? And so training yourself on relationships has to do with getting to really know and love yourself. For me, loving yourself and accepting yourself and coming to terms with the past and what happened in your parents' marriage and to you growing up is essential for having a healed, whole relationship. And it's very rare that you find men and women who have that, but it's possible.
Absolutely. So for that high-powered executive who thinks that she really cannot have it all, how do you really define that? I like to tell people you can have it all, perhaps not at the same time, but you can have both. You can have that career and you can have that relationship. So if you were to kind of narrow this down, let's say 3 points, if you will, how do you manage being able to leave it at the door?
When you're saying manage, leave it at the door, you mean when you're coming home from work, how do you transition?
How do you
into the
decompress?
home?
Absolutely.
Excellent. I have 3 suggestions for that. The first is use your transit time as your transition time. Okay, so you've been in work mode all day, your mind is full, your head is spinning, you've got so much, that's churning inside of you. To take a few minutes and to park on paper those things that need your attention when you return to work will be of great help to you. So once you've identified all those things you've got to do the next day or later that evening perhaps, then you can leave it. Then you can breathe during that time.
Yeah.
Let go of the stress. Literally, if you need to, brush it off your body, shake it off your body. Bring in some inspiring music. It's something that soothes you and relaxes you and moves you into a different space, because it is a transition to take off your management hat and come into your romantic, feminine, strong feminine, of course, hat that you're bringing into your home. During that transition time, the second thing that I would say is you need to create the inner dynamics for connection. So again, like lightening up a little bit. Okay, yes, it's been a heavy day. You've dealt with project deadlines, problematic employees, all these things that cause you so much stress. Now you need to, after letting that go, lighten up. Imagine putting into your mind's eye a vision of your heart, a vision of the person that you love. Focusing in your mind before you even enter the situation, the things that you love about this person, the things that you're grateful for in this relationship. It opens a space for joy, for blessing, for gratitude. And that energy then, when you walk into that door, it comes through. If you're a stress ball coming in,
Yep.
you're going to get stress in return.
That's exactly right.
If you're angry coming in, most likely you're going to get a mirror of whatever you are. So go in calm, go in happy, and go in playful, ready to create a sacred space and time with your partner.
I love that, because home is supposed to be a sacred place.
Yes, so that would lead me to the third and very, very important point. You've got to be fully present and mindful. So I often tell my clients, you need to engage all your senses. So when you walk in the door, imagine seeing that person. When you see your partner, you're seeing a masterpiece in front of you, a portrait, something that is remarkable and something that is unique. Engage your eyes and see that person fully. Don't be distracted in your mind. Bring your full attention through your senses to that person. Engage your hearing. Listen. Allow the person to finish their sentences.
Right.
Hear them. Touch them. A small touch on the elbow, a kiss on the forehead. You know, those are the little tiny pieces of connection that lead to bigger connections at night. Wink, wink. But by being mindful and by turning off the cell phone, putting these distractions aside, those things are tools. They are not to be the master of your life.
Yes.
Don't answer to your cell phone, make it answer to you.
Absolutely.
And that is how you go about creating a sacred time and space for connection. And you know, it doesn't have to be a long time of connection. It could be 15 minutes, 30 minutes that you set aside, but it's meaningful. So you maximize those moments so that you make that relationship connected. Remember, we're always changing. We're moving at the speed of light, and sometimes we just need to slow down and be together. Simply be, like relax together and be together and connect heart to heart.
Yeah, that's powerful. I mean, we spoke about it in the context of already having that love relationship,
Right.
already having that mate at home.
Right.
So for that high-powered executive who's single, let's talk a few minutes about some steps
Sure.
they can take to even attract likeness. And what does that really mean to opening up your life, your heart, and exuding the energy that says, I have time to allow that love interest to come to me, for me to find him, and for us to be able to mutually share.
Right. So I think the first thing is to take off the limitations. You know, we think, oh, I don't have time for this. I can't make space for this. So what you said is an affirmation. I create the space in my life for a loving relationship. I open the door to this. I prepare myself for it. I'm ready for this. So opening your mind and your heart and your being to it. The second thing, though, is to really clarify what you want. Very few people take the time to get a very clear picture. And I'm not saying the way a person looks necessarily, although that's part of it. I'm talking about the kind of person that you want to spend your time with and invest in. What does that person look like? What is he like? What is he doing? You know, how does he match up to the lifestyle that you're creating for you? Having that detailed picture in your mind opens the door to finding that and not getting sidetracked by someone who could be a time waster.
Yes.
You know, if you're going to invest your time and energy, take the time to clarify first. Then, when you are out there doing your thing, shining your own light, that person is going to show up on your path. But will you have the vision to see that person and to connect with that person, to have the presence of mind, to actually know that, aha, this may be someone that I'm interested in.
I love that. Thank you so much, Patricia, for being here today.
You're welcome. I'm honored. Thank you so much.
So ladies, there you have it. The bottom line is, your job is what you do. It's not who you are. And you get to take the power, to take charge, to be present enough, as Trish says, to make some rightful decisions for your life. This is Yashima White, Azilove, and you've just been empowered.